Right, this is lesson 12, orders of operations. Objective, students will evaluate expressions using order of operations. Here are the steps. Again, step 1 is a new step, so that should be written down. Same thing as what we're doing yesterday. Here we go. So, evaluate k squared minus 2 divided by 2 minus h. Use h is equal to 6, k is equal to 2. So just watch right now. So right now we have variables. We're in algebra. Part of algebra is looking at letters and replacing them with other numbers, okay? So, k squared. Whenever we see a letter, we want to replace it with a particular letter that it represents, or the number that it represents. So we know that h is equal to 6, and k is equal to 2. So we're looking here. Whenever I see k, I'm going to replace it with 2. So looking here, we have k squared. So we want to replace k with 2, and we're going to put it into its own parentheses. So it's really like saying 2 squared minus 2 divided by 2 minus h. Over here, h is equal to 6. So instead of h, I'm going to use 6, and I'm going to put 6 into its own parentheses. Okay, now we're going to do what we did yesterday, PEMDAS. I asked myself, are there any parentheses that I need to simplify on the inside? Nope. Any exponents? Yeah, we have 2 squared here. 2 squared becomes 4, so we have 4 minus 2 divided by 2 minus 6. Any other exponents? No. Any multiplier divide from left to right? Yeah. We have a division right here in the middle. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So you got bring down the 4 and the negative 6. Then we are doing add to subtract from left to right. We're going to do 4 minus 1 is 3. We got 3 minus 6 is negative 3. And that's your answer to number 1. Okay? So we're doing the same thing as what we did yesterday, except what are we doing? We're replacing variables with the numbers. Does that make sense? Questions on number 1? Questions? Okay, number 2. Number 2, we have 4 plus p plus r plus p plus q. Again, we're looking at our variables here. We know whenever we see q, it's going to be negative 3. Or, I'm sorry, p is negative 3, q is 4, and r is negative 5. So the first thing we want to do is replace variables with the actual numbers. So whenever I see a p, I'm going to use negative 3. So we have 4 plus a negative 3 in its own parentheses. You see that? Did you see how I put negative 3 in its own parentheses right there? So it's 4 plus negative 3 plus r. R is supposed to be negative 5. Plus p again, plus another negative 3. Okay, plus q, which is a 4. Okay, now we're going to simplify it. Positive and negative here becomes a negative, so it's really like saying 4 minus 3. We have positive and negative becomes a minus 5. Positive and negative here becomes a minus 3 plus 4. Okay, now we're working from left to right. We got 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. And then we still have this plus 4 at the end. Then we work it out again from left to right. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Bring down the plus 4. Negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. So in both of these answers, we have the same answer. Okay? Different problems, but these both ended up being the same answers. Any questions on numbers 1 or 2? Okay, cool. So what I'd like you to do, before you write this down, talk to your neighbor. Today's Tuesday, so let's have 2's tell the 1's about number 1. And then 1's tell the 2's about number 2. Ready, set, go. Okay, number 3, here we go. Number 3, we got x squared minus x times 4 minus z. Use x is equal to negative 6 and z is equal to 1. Just do this in your notes for today. Our iPads are down because of the Wi-Fi issues we have today. Okay, so what's the value we use for x? Negative 6. We're going to use negative 6 squared minus a negative 6 all times 4. What value do we use for z? 1. Good. Thank you for the enthusiasm. Okay? Now we're going to write down PEMDAS, right? Are there any parentheses I could work on first? Yeah, we have a 4 minus a 1 here, right? What's 4 minus 1? 3, right? And I'll keep it in parentheses and bring the rest of the problem down. While I'm at it, what's a negative 6 really mean? Positive 6, right? We got negative 6 squared. Okay? We're done with parentheses. Are there any exponents here? Yeah, what's negative 6 squared? Positive 36, right? Because negative times a negative is positive, right? And 6 times 6 is 36. Bring the rest of the problem down. What's the sign between this 6 and this 3 right here? Multiplication, good. So we know that's next. So what's 6 times 3? 18, okay. If we know that this is the last bit, what's our answer going to be? 36 plus 18. What is it, everyone?
54.
54, good. That's your answer. Make sense? Okay, let's have you do number 4 on your own. Ready, set, go. So on this one, P is equal to negative 2. M is equal to 6. And make sure you put these in parentheses. Minus a P, which is negative 2. Minus 5. All plus Q. Negative 2. Divided by 2. Okay. So PEMDAS first, are there any parentheses? Yep, we have this negative 2 minus 5, which is negative 7. And that stays in parentheses with a minus sign here. Plus negative 2 divided by 2. Got 6. Negative 2 plus 6. Okay. Then, while we're at it, we need to see if there's any exponents. There aren't any exponents. Multiplication. Any multiplication on this example? All right. So, are any multiplication signs here? No. Division signs. Yeah, there's some division we could deal with. From left to right, we got positive 6 divided by 6 is equal to 1. We bring down this negative 2 plus this 1. Then we have a negative 7 becomes a positive 7. And then we have a positive and negative 2 here. So let's just bring down this positive sign right here. Then we have negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Okay. We know that this is like saying a positive and negative 1 is like saying a negative 1. Okay. So now we could work from left to right on our addition. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Positive 7 minus 1 is positive 6. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5. So the answer is 5. Imagine if you got 5. Okay, that's the correct answer. Continuing, number 5. Did we get number 5? Oh, that's it. I guess I don't have any more. All right, that concludes our lesson.